Good evening, welcome. This is the last appointment of Design Talks for what concerns the part dedicated to design. After Luca Nicchetto, Edoardo Fioravanti, we have Sam Barn, and we really thank him for having accepted our invitation, and we're really pleased to have him here. Well, Sam Barn is a designer. He works in Italy as well. He works in Europe between Paris, Treviso, and Portugal. He will tell us exactly why he has this activity between these three countries. And well, he is the responsible of the design department of Fabrica, which probably you all know is the research center and communication of Benetton. And therefore, he has a role which is very important concerning the pedagogy for teaching design. He has the relationship with students and to study new collections and elaborate new concepts. Well, Sam Barron um, is working in design 360 degrees because he is not only working with the product, but he also does interior design and communication. It's a vague term, and we will try to understand exactly what we mean by communication here. Well, according to my point of view, it's very useful to have him here because with him we can probably speak about topics that we haven't talked about in these last previous talks. In the sense, all the idea of limited working to some limited editions, the relationship with applied arts and the world of decoration, of which we have talked about in design lately, and we will try to understand with him the values and critical elements and issues of this dimension and many other things. Well, his work has been documented incredibly. He definitely does not need a further presentation. One of the last important prizes, let me just remind you, in the year 2010, Créateur de l'année Musée. Very important fair in France, but definitely international, dedicated to appliances, home appliances. Let's leave the word to him, who tells us about his world and his vision of design. Thank you. And thank you very much to the journalist that I will use as discussant, because I hope we can actually create a dialogue. Good evening. Well, I am a designer. I'm French, and I was born in France. I have studied 5 years at the Fine Arts in Benetton in the center of France, and after I've done a postgraduate degree in Paris. Well, during these 7 years of studies, I have also worked for different design agencies to try to understand how to work and learn from older people. Well, my idea has been that of starting as soon as possible and working for myself in the sense as a freelance, finding some clients and doing some small steps in order to try to create my own path. It's a work which requires, according to my opinion, a lot of patience, and it's pretty hard to face because well, at least, and back in my times, let's say, if this is how, if I can define it this way, well, there is a need of a firm that gives trust, that gives you the capacity and the ability of designing. You have to understand the responsibility that this profession contains, in the sense that when you're designing an object, you have to be pleased with what you do, but you definitely have to respond to a request of a client, and you definitely have to place some products on the market that if they're not glass or ceramics, they need to be definitely some products that remain for a very long time on Earth, and therefore you have to understand that what we're proposing to people is not only a design and creativity, it's a service, it's something which is following up some needs, and it's a need that the market has, and therefore it's not that every single time we have to create an object that is beautiful, but they have to be a service as well. They have to be a true service, and you have to upstand to the money that you're paid to do this job, to open new clients, to open new markets, and respond to some true needs.
E quello forse c'è bisogno
And
di
I believe
fare
that
qualche sbagliarsi, ma
maybe you
fare
need to do some
qualcosa
mistakes, to do some new
per
things,
trovare
to start understanding the correct path you want to follow,
questa
actually.
sera.
Well, this
Io
evening I
partirei
will show you a
subito
series of different projects. It's not
cioè
all, well, they are
partire
not ordered chronologically,
via, ma
but
sono dei progettini
they
che io
are
trovo
some
abbastanza
projects that I believe
importanti
are
per
pretty
chi sa
important and
creare
relevant
qualcosa di
to
particolare,
explain
quindi per
how
esempio
one could be a designer.